feel free to come on over to patreon.com. You can sign up to become a patron. And if you do, I will send you some Team Justice and Justice Matters stickers and a personal handwritten note of thanks and thank you to all of you who have decided to come over to Patreon and support our Justice Matters efforts. We couldn't do it without you. Now, on to the video. So friends, in yesterday's Justice Matters video, we talked about Donald Trump's threats against New York District Attorney Alvin Bragg, the very person investigating Donald Trump's crimes, the very person who seems to be on the eve of indicting Donald Trump for his New York State crimes. We talked about Donald Trump posting how there would be death and destruction if he was indicted. We talked about Donald Trump posting a picture of himself with a baseball bat about to take a swing at Alvin Bragg. And we talked about how those threats constituted violations of New York state law. Newsweek actually did an article about yesterday's Justice Matters video. There's the headline, "Trump just committed these new crimes in New York." The state law Donald Trump violated is Section 195.05. And that New York state law reads, in pertinent part, "A person is guilty of obstructing governmental administration in the second degree when that person prevents or attempts to prevent a public servant from performing an official function by means of intimidation." And that is precisely what Donald Trump has done. Prompting me to say, friends, when the New York grand jurors reconvene on Monday, they should receive additional evidence from prosecutors of Donald Trump's death and destruction threats in violation of Section 195.05, and they should also receive this post. Okay, friends, let's turn to Donald Trump's new federal crimes. And this one is actually pretty straightforward. Now, the federal statute has a somewhat curious name. It's 18 United States Code, Section 875, and it's titled Interstate Communications. Well, let's read the law together. Whoever transmits in interstate or foreign commerce any communication containing any threat to kidnap any person or any threat to injure the person of another shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 5 years or both. Okay, friends, let's break it down to its essential elements. Anyone who transmits in interstate commerce a threat to injure a person has committed a 5-year federal felony. Now, posting something on the internet equals transmitting it in interstate commerce. And this picture depicting you taking a bat to your prosecutor equals a threat to another. And Donald Trump should be prosecuted both locally in New York and federally because justice matters. Yes, we are impatient. Yes, we've been waiting forever for justice to come for Donald Trump. Hang in there a little longer, friends. And as always, please stay safe, please stay tuned, and I look forward to talking with you all again soon.
Remain on indictment watch here at the Midas Touch Network. The Manhattan grand jury that is considering criminal charges against Donald Trump convened again on Monday afternoon and heard from another witness, David Pecker, who actually previously testified before the grand jury. Pecker is the former publisher of the National Enquirer who led the catch and kill schemes for Donald Trump in the past to bury stories on Trump's disgusting and unlawful conduct. So, what's the impact of David Pecker's testimony today? We will discuss. Meanwhile, Donald Trump's lawyer, Joe Tacopina, whose last media tour was a total disaster, apparently did not have enough humiliation and did one more round of his self-flagellation tour with interviews on the weekend shows that only further incriminated Donald Trump. What are they thinking? Are they thinking at all? I don't think so. We will discuss. Chairman of the Judiciary Committee, and it pains me to say that, Jim Jordan, continued to lead the efforts by the MAGA Republicans in charge of the House of Representatives to, in an unprecedented fashion and weaponizing the federal government, try to interfere with the Manhattan District Attorney's criminal investigation into Donald Trump. The Manhattan District Attorney's response was essentially, all right, just leave us alone at this point. You are breaking the law, Jim Jordan. You have no clue what you are talking about. We don't have time for this nonsense. Don't you know what federalism is? Just go away. Stop calling us. And speaking of total nonsense, or what should more aptly be called dangerous cult behavior, Donald Trump held a deranged rally in Waco, Texas on the 30-year anniversary of the deadly Waco siege, where 4 ATF agents were killed when they executed a search warrant on a virulent anti-government cult called the Branch Davidians that were unlawfully stockpiling weapons, and where dozens of Branch Davidians were killed. We will discuss this dangerous rally, its attempt to incite domestic terrorism, and we will give you the media's response to it, which in typical fashion was just a total and utter failure. There was another deadly mass shooting at a school in the United States earlier in the day, this one in Nashville, Tennessee, where as of now, 3 students, 2 teachers, and the terrorist who killed them had also died. It's utterly disgusting. It's an all too familiar scene here in the United States and an all too familiar pattern here in this country where, let's just be real, one political party, the Republican Party, which is now the MAGA Republicans, not only refuse to allow common sense gun reform to pass, but they glorify and promote an insurrectionist view of the Second Amendment, not too dissimilar from the Branch Davidians and terrorists like Timothy McVeigh. And the photo that we just showed for those watching on YouTube is the member of Congress from that district taking a photo in front of a Christmas tree with AR-15s and all of the members of the family and the little kids holding AR-15s, right? This is a disgusting pattern that we see over and over again, and there is no both sides to this issue. Speaking of no both sides, right? As Donald Trump was at a cult rally playing songs by what they call the January 6th choir, made up of January 6th insurrectionists. Well, what was President Biden doing? President Biden continued to champion policies to bring more jobs and better paying jobs in America. Biden was promoting infrastructure projects. Biden was promoting policies to look after seniors and make healthcare more accessible and affordable. But you wouldn't know that by reading any of the large periodicals or by watching any of the large media networks. And finally, more bad news for Fox in the Dominion defamation lawsuit, as a former senior producer who used to be a producer at the Tucker Carlson show, and Maria Bartiromo, who previously sued Fox last week for vile harassment and discrimination. Well, She amended the lawsuit she filed on Monday to include new allegations that the Fox lawyers intimidated and coerced her during her deposition that was taken back in December by Dominion lawyers in the defamation case to lie and to damage her own reputation, to basically lie for Fox. So big news there and bad news for Fox. And also want to say this as we start the show. Thank you so much to all the Meidas Mighty out there for helping us reach 1 million subscribers on our YouTube channel. It is an incredible, incredible honor to do these podcasts and to make these videos with you. And that's how I see the Meidas Mighty community. None of this is possible without you. And, you know, we are so grateful for you. So when I say we hit 1 million, you hit
Yes.
1 million. We were all in that together. Brett and Jordy, how are you both doing today?
I'm doing well. A lot of news to discuss, a lot going on. I'm so excited to have this opportunity finally